So a couple of months back, I was just scrolling through Instagram when I came across an ad for a perfume brand that I had never seen before. An Indian brand, a clean bottle, and a price tag that made me stop. 799 rupees for eau de parfum, and I was like, no, that can't be real. So I started digging, and what I found was quite surprising. Did you know India's perfume market is worth over $1 billion and is growing 15% year on year? Brands like House of EM5 grew from 0 to 8 crores revenue in just 2 years. A 29-year-old in Lucknow is running an artisanal niche perfumery business built on her family's 75-year-old legacy. And international giants like Chanel are opening their first ever fragrance only stores in Mumbai. So something is clearly happening here. So I talked to 3 founders who are building these brands, and this is what they told us. So before we get started and get into how these brands are built, we need to set one thing straight. India's market is completely different from the West. India is flooded, and I mean it. It's flooded with 300 rupees, 400 rupees, 500 rupees copies of international brands that for most people is close enough. So if you're a founder in India, you're not just competing with the international giants, you're also competing with the idea that close enough is good enough. But you don't have to be the 4,000 rupees brand. Shashank built House of EM5 on opposite bet that a premium product shouldn't have a premium tag.
हमने कभी उस चीज़ों पे ध्यान ही नहीं दिया कि हम महंगा बेच रहे हैं. Have we never run sales? हम लोग कोई दिवाली सेल, न्यू ईयर सेल कभी नहीं चलाते हैं. Our prices are like 4 times as expensive as any other mainstream brand out there. You see, like आप प्राइस में जाओगे, there is a different game altogether. फिर आप आपके फॉर्मुलेशंस को सस्ता करने का सोचोगे. अब जैसे हमने कभी हमारी पैकेजिंग पे ध्यान नहीं दिया, तो whatever money I am spending, whatever you are paying for is for the juice inside the bottle. Only those who understand this thing, they buy from us. People who are still into that colonial hangover कि नहीं बड़ा ब्रांड है, पैकेजिंग अच्छी है, बॉटल अच्छी है, प्रेजेंटेशन अच्छा है, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स जिसकी बात कर रहे हैं, हमको वो बात करनी, वो करना है, तो देन यू आर बेसिकली अब वो मार्केटिंग गिमिक्स का शिकार हो चुका है कंज्यूमर. मतलब फिर
And this is the key takeaway here. Pick a lane. Know if you are a 800 rupees everyday fragrance or a 4,000 rupees niche perfumery. Don't try to do both and don't try to be both, because the brands who do this confuse people, and confused people don't buy. So let's start with the question that stops most people before they even begin. Money. If you Google right now how much does it take to build a perfume brand, it would give you answers ranging from 50,000 to 50 lakhs, which is not helpful. The thing is, it completely depends on what you're trying to build. The difference between a mass market brand and an artisanal one is not just the product. It's a completely different business with different economics.
I believe money is should not be the criteria. I started my company out of maybe I believe 5 lakh rupees or so, not more than that. It's not about how much you are able to invest in the company. It's more about how you are going to spend whatever money you have with you. I believe knowledge plays an important role rather than money. See, there are a lot of people out there with a lot of money, all the VCs and everything. So money is a secondary factor. I believe it's celebrated well, but I believe it's not a factor. Matlab, not at all. Money should not be the factor. 50,000 rupees is good to start a business.
So this is what I learned. You don't need crores to start. But as a new founder, you shouldn't underestimate the amount of budget that goes into things that are in the product, such as packaging, compliance testing, or MOQs. The real skill is not having a lot of money. It's knowing where your first rupee should go. India has a lot of oil suppliers and fragrance houses. Kannauj alone, that's a small city in UP, is known to be the perfume capital of India for centuries. Vendors everywhere, options everywhere. That's good, right? No. The problem is, if you're a new founder, you don't know who to trust. And a bad batch of raw ingredients doesn't just mean a bad product. It also means skin reactions, returns, and reviews that will kill your brand before you would even start. So I talked to Astha about this. Her family has been in perfumery for over 75 years now, and she has grown around sandalwood and saffron. So she knows her stuff.
I think people are out there to fool, so one has to be very conscious with doing a little bit of background research. And my criteria is always to go and physically meet the person, meet my vendors, see their establishment, see their setup, see what their values are. I think relationship building is the first foremost most important thing to see, because when you know the character of the person, when you know the character of the company, the values that the company follows, you'll know if they have the capacity to mix and match and adulterate your stuff or give you genuine organic stuff.
And here's the takeaway: sourcing isn't glamorous. Nobody is making reels about it. But that's one thing that separates a brand that survives year one from a brand that launches one day and then poof, disappears. You are asking people to spend 500 rupees, 1500 rupees, even 4000 rupees on a perfume bottle they are seeing on their screen. They cannot smell it or experience it. So they are deciding on what exactly. And yet, some of the fastest growing perfume brands in India are D2C first. EM5 does 70% of their sales on their own website. And Naso has built an entire guided system where people can come and actually discover their scent profile. So these founders had figured something out.
What we did was we started educating people in terms of what a perfume is. So rather than getting into aspirational and fantasy based marketing, we focused on getting into functional marketing. Now, to sell an experience online, I need to tell you in words how it would smell like, what you will feel about it, and some technical parts as well. Either a fragrance will smell good on you or it will deliver an experience, is the whole difference out there. So fragrance is also a sense. You have to deliver an experience with the sense to make it more enjoyable.
Or you can choose the other approach: education. Rather than convincing the customers to trust a name, educate them about fragrance. Here's what I learned, and I think this is probably the most important thing I learned while making this video. Your product page is your store's experience, and the descriptions you use, imagery, reviews is your salesperson. And if your salesperson isn't incredible enough, your fragrance doesn't matter. So let's just say you have a product, a price, and a story to tell online. Where do you put this thing up? 5 years ago, the answer would have been simple: just go to retail. But right now, there are so many options: website, marketplace, or quick commerce, where people are buying perfumes with their groceries. Megha Yadav is building MNU, a modern beauty brand focused on making skincare and fragrance more accessible.
To stay in today's market, you should be available on marketplaces, on your website, offline chain as well. Like for offline, इसलिए क्योंकि if you provide free samples या कुछ भी, customer genuinely want to touch the product. For marketplace, as we know, people do face payment delay, product delay, late dispatchment of the product. So people trust marketplaces like Amazon, Myntra more. You at the same time you need your website as well to give extra benefits to your consumers.
So I talked to all the founders about this, and this is what 3 conversations told me. Start with your own website. This is where you control the narrative, the story, the margins. Then, as you gain traction and reviews, go to marketplaces. And finally, if your product is between 500 to 1500 range, you should definitely do quick commerce. We ended every podcast the same way. One question: what is that one truth you would want someone to know before they even begin? 3 very different founders building 3 different brands. But the common thread running through all these conversations was same. 1. Have patience. Number 2. Build an obsession with the product itself, not the branding, not the marketing, but the product. And number 3. Keep your morale high on the days when numbers are small and the progress feels invisible. But the truth is, the market doesn't care about your Instagram aesthetics. It only cares about one thing. And that is if your product is good enough to be bought again. That is it. We'll keep making these with different categories, different founders, but same honest conversations. If you found this helpful, then subscribe. And if you know someone who is thinking to start their own brand, then you should ask them to check the link in the description box. Shashank, Astha and Megha are explaining exactly step by step how to start and scale a perfume brand. I'll see you in the next one.